What's up, YouTube? Making this video because I'm a little bit frustrated. I've had this AO Smith water softener for over a year now. I've read through the user manual like a few times and could never figure out how to adjust the settings so it doesn't just randomly start regenerating in the middle of the day, which is a problem because then you get salt in your water and it's really irritating and nasty. Anyway, so this is the water softener. It's one of the bigger ones. I think it's the 450T. Got all the salt in there. Here is where the money is. Let's see. So let's get the screen on. Okay, so gallons remaining 1087. That was lower earlier today. You can manually regenerate it there, and then there's the menu where we're going to start screwing with these things. So first thing is the hardness. That's important because that is the hardness of the water coming in. The default setting is 25, and I need to get a hardness tester so I can set that correctly. But basically, unless you adjust that, it's going to be a random value of 25. May or may not be correct. But the higher you set that, the more often your water softener is going to regenerate. So if you increase that number, it's going to regenerate at a higher frequency, and vice versa if you lower that. You can change it right there, but I'm going to wait until I know what the actual value is before I change that. As far as the display goes, you can adjust the time here. So you want to adjust the time to the correct time of the day, because that is important if you're going to tell it to delay. So one thing I learned from some random PowerPoint I got on Google is that delay is the setting you need if you want to have this thing regenerate at a time that's not inconvenient. So the default setting is demand. Let's go there so you can see it. Go to menu and regeneration. So the default setting is demand. Right now I got it at delay. Demand means that once it goes through all the gallons that it calculates based on the hardness that you tell it you got coming in. So it's not measuring the hardness, it's measuring the water flow going into your house. So if you say that you've got a very hard water, it's gonna regenerate more frequently, and if you've got it in demand mode, it's just gonna do it whenever you hit that gallons that it's measuring. So for instance, if you're using a lot of water in the middle of the day and you hit that number, it's just going to start regenerating while you're using a lot of water in the middle of the day, which is really irritating because then you get salty water and etc. etc. It's just terrible. So switch that to delayed, and delayed is not the default setting, but now that it's in delayed, it will use the time that you program it to regenerate. So the default time in here programmed to regenerate is 2 a.m. So I'll show you how to change that in just a second. The type is high capacity. So I didn't know what those meant, but essentially high efficiency means it's going to regenerate more frequently but use less salt. High capacity means it's going to regenerate less frequently and use more salt each time it regenerates. Auto is it figures it out itself. I don't know how it does that, but I'm just leaving it on high capacity because it's kind of annoying whenever it regenerates, especially since you get salty water. And then I don't know if I'm giving my cats a bowl of salt water or if I'm giving them actual soft water, which is the whole reason we bought this thing. Anyway, so I leave it in high capacity so it doesn't do this very often. If I start to taste hard water and it doesn't taste good, then maybe I'll just play with the settings a little bit more. But my next step is to get a hardness test kit so I can see exactly what the hardness is coming into our house and maybe test every once in a while. I also want to test the hardness of the water after it goes through this softener to see how good it works. I'm sure it works fine. So now if we go to so you can manually regenerate, which we don't want to do. Time. Looking for the setting where you tell it what time to regenerate. Alright, back. Just took me a minute to find where it tells you, or where it lets you input the time that you're going to regenerate. So it's in the menu, main menu under display. That's where you select the time to regenerate. So there's also where you enter what time of the day it is. So right now I got 9:38 and 8 a.m., which is correct. Go to next, and now you can select the regen time. 2 a.m. is pretty good because everybody's sleeping. So that's the time I would like it to regenerate. That's also the default setting. If you go in there, you can adjust it and make it whatever you like. Anyway, let's skip back. And with all these settings, I've got 1,000 gallons remaining. Earlier today, before I updated all the settings, it was 300 gallons because I increased the hardness thinking it was the hardness I wanted it to output, but actually it is the hardness that I measured coming in, which nobody measured it, so we don't really know what the hardness is. Need to get a test kit for that. So I increased it from 300 gallons to 1,000, and then I also told it don't regenerate until 2 a.m. So if it does hit that 1,000 gallon limit early, it's not just going to start regenerating in the middle of the day when I want a glass of water and it gives me salt water. It's going to wait until 2 a.m., which is exactly what I want. Anyway, hope this video was helpful. I know I would have liked to see a video like this when I was setting this thing up when we first got it a year ago. I was able to find some random PowerPoint that happened to point me in the right direction. Hopefully, if A.O. Smith is viewing this video, please add instructions on controller settings to your user manual. I think it's pretty common sense that those should be in there, but apparently it's not for A.O. Smith. So yeah, please add those so that new users can just read the user manual, which is where I would think you would want to go. But although more and more people are going to YouTube, so hopefully this video helps somebody avoid some of the irritating salt water in the water supply that I've been having to deal with over the last year. Anyway, good luck, best wishes, bye.